Over the years, Alaska. The Last Frontier has earned its place among reality TV's finest for one simple reason: it feels real. And that authenticity drew a massive audience to the Kilcher homestead, where one family's grit, craft, and community hold the line against brutal seasons. Among the cast, Atz Kilcher drew special attention, and lately he's been back in the headlines, prompting the question, what did Atz do to set the internet buzzing and keep eyes glued to the screen? To answer, we have to start with the show itself, an American reality series on Discovery Channel that began on December 29, 2011 and ended on November 13, 2022, a run that many doubted at first, only for it to win positive reviews and deep affection as viewers watch the extended Kilcher family, descendants of Swiss immigrants and Alaskan pioneers Yule and Ruth Kilcher, live 11 miles outside Homer without modern heating, choosing farming and hunting over convenience and spending long stretches preparing for winter, a lifestyle that grew even more compelling when singer Jewel, a relative, appeared. Season by season, fans stayed, and it's easy to see why. Season 1, before the freeze plunges the family into another punishing winter, bears kill 2 head of cattle. Hopes hang on one last hunt, then a first storm slams the homestead as the family races to finish 8 months of prep. Atz herds cattle across flooded glacial rivers. Early winter storms leave everyone behind schedule. A desperate search for a newborn calf and its mother pushes Charlotte Kilcher and son August into a night of deep snow. And Otto Kilcher helps Atz Lee Kilcher drop a dangerous tree. By episode 4, record-breaking cold has the family improvising and risking more. Atz and Jane Kilcher head into the elements for ice fishing and hunting, while Otto takes on a perilous mission to aid a fellow homesteader. Episode 5 brings spring's thaw. Atz Lee asks his father to join an early black bear hunt to redeem a failed fall effort. While Jane faces the open sea alone for king salmon, Ivan Kilcher mills lumber and tackles the first big build, a large chicken coop, after helping Eve Kilcher corral a rogue cannibal hen. In episode 6, the clan drives cattle to summer pasture and discovers a missing calf, sending Otto and Ivan on a late-night rescue while Atz Lee and Jane cobble together a greenhouse from cast-off supplies. Soon, Atz begins his summer range riding season to protect Otto's herd. A bear menaces at the tree line, a wolf tests the fence, and the family races the clock to bring in hay as the cannibal hen strikes again. By episode 8, the Kilchers rally friends to tackle their largest project. 48 hours to build a long cattle fence and rebuild a cabin before treacherous river tides. Trap a barge loaded with essential gear, then, with half of summer gone, the family pivots to survival fishing, needing hundreds of pounds of salmon, halibut, and trout to eat and barter through winter, each couple leaning on time-proven techniques. Season 2 opens in late fall as half the herd returns early from summer grazing and the rest must be driven home across icy rivers. Winter prep jobs stack up, but they still make time for a beach-scavenged gourmet picnic. When frozen soil blocks progress, Otto gets creative moving the outhouse. Ivan takes Eve on her first deer hunt on Afognak Island, teeming with wildlife, including awake bears, and the sons gather trees for a major new project. Meanwhile, Otto pulls porcupine quills from a colt's tender nose. Atz's legal quota is met, and it's up to Eve to bring home more venison, despite mixed emotions about the kill. Atz and Atz Lee snare rabbits while Jane learns rabbit skinning, and the whole clan sprints through final fall tasks, prepping hunter and cattleman cabins, winterizing the beehive, sorting the root cellar, bottling raspberry mead, even carving a new field with excavator and barge. Proof that on this homestead, preparation is salvation. Then came the lawsuit that nearly dented ratings and continuity. Headlines flared when it emerged that Atz Lee Kilcher faced charges tied to using a helicopter in a bear hunt. The backdrop was grim. Atz Lee, 38 at the time, had suffered severe injuries after a fall at Otter Cove in Kachemak Bay and needed a LifeMed helicopter evacuation, throwing the family into crisis as reporters demanded answers and got none. In court at Homer, Atz Lee and Jane, through counsel, entered not guilty pleas to using a helicopter to hunt black bear. while production company Wilma TV was charged with facilitating transport to hunt by helicopter and likewise pleaded not guilty. Assistant District Attorney Nick Torres alleged violations of Alaska game laws, the spark being an episode showing Jane hunting for bear. The criminal complaint followed months later, and a production insider told troopers a helicopter had indeed been used. Troopers spokesperson Megan Peters said investigators contacted the helicopter company, who said they were not told a hunt was planned. With Atz Lee recovering, Judge Margaret Murphy waived in-person arraignment and released Atz and Jane on their own recognizance at the request of their Anchorage attorney, Patrick Burke. Though she set no special conditions for Wilma TV, as the probe deepened, Wilma TV of Encino, California, pleaded guilty to an amended violation using an unlawful method to take or attempt to take game. Since under Alaska law use of a helicopter for hunting is illegal, and Judge Murphy fined the company $2,500 while dismissing charges against Atz Lee and Jane. As part of the dismissal, the couple agreed to testify if needed. Jane's lawyer, Kevin Fitzgerald, confirmed. An affidavit by wildlife trooper Trent Schwielkowski recounted that a medic hired by Wilma TV blew the whistle after a producer allegedly told him not to disclose to the helicopter company that hunting was planned. After watching the Fall Bear Fall episode in January 2015, the trooper confirmed flights to Bradley Lake and heard from producers who claimed they thought using a helicopter was no different from a float plane used in a prior episode. When interviewed, Atz Lee said producers pressured them. He had warned helicopter access was illegal. They said he should just go and it would work out, the affidavit noted. Fitzgerald argued Jane committed no crime and no black bear was taken, adding that sometimes even reality TV stages pursuit without a final shot. And with that, the couple's names were cleared and life returned to the grind of survival. To understand Atz, though, you need the biography. Born September 2, 1947, Attila Kuno Atz Kilcher is an American singer-songwriter and the oldest son of Yule and Ruth Weber. His father, a polyglot who spoke 12 languages, helped draft Alaska's state charter and served in the Senate, while his mother, an aspiring opera singer, became one of the state's first female journalists, writing about homesteading. Atz was fourth of 8, brother Otto, his co-star, and 6 sisters, Wertilla Hepp, Faye Graham, Katkin Kilcher Burton, Stella Vera Kilcher, Mossy Kilcher, and Sunrise Schoberg, homeschooled until their teens. Because the elementary school was far beyond walking distance, Atz hit high school athletics, skiing, basketball, wrestling, cross-country, then raised Mormon, attended Brigham Young University, only to be drafted in 1967 for the Vietnam War, serving less than 2 years. Post-service, he married Lenidra Carroll, and they had 3 children, Shane, Atz Lee, and Jewel, who followed her grandmother into music and earned Grammy nominations. The Kilcher homestead itself, born when Yule received 160 acres in 1944, grew to over 600 acres, and to keep it intact, Yule created the Kilcher Family Trust in the 1990s, ensuring all 8 siblings share ownership. Tours now route visitors through the original cabin-turned-museum with old farm tools and stories of a childhood of gardens, coal hauling, water carrying, butchering, and music, the family sometimes called Alaska's Von Trapps. Fame found Atz through the show and his music, yodeling with Jewel, writing songs about the land, and in 2018 he published Son of a Midnight Land, a memoir in stories that lifted the curtain on both wonder and wounds, the joy of shared work and song, and the deep scars of a father's explosive temper, belittling, humiliation, physical hurt, leaving Atz walking on eggshells for years and later studying psychology, becoming a social worker, and confronting his own shadows, stealing as a youth, leaning on alcohol, repeating harshness with his children, before doing the therapy and grit work to break cycles. Reviewers noted the emotionally charged vocabulary, dysfunction, triggers, unresolved issues, inner child, because the book is, at its core, redemptive survival. Here isn't only about weather, it's emotional and spiritual. Then came the fall. June 2015 at Otter Cove near Homer, Atz Lee, hiking with a friend when one wrong step sent him over a cliff, leaving a broken arm, broken shoulder, broken ankle, broken hip, crushed ribs, and 2 punctured lungs. Jane wrote on Facebook, "It will be a challenging and long road to recovery," and Atz Lee later posted to Instagram, "My recovery is going slow but steady to me, but the DR say I'm recovering fast," thanking his physical therapist and dreaming of running and jumping from trees and mountain tops again someday. A Discovery clip shows Jane getting the midnight call. Luckily, the hiking partner had a satellite phone, paramedics came by chopper, and the helicopter lifted Atz Lee out. A year later, he wrote, "A year ago today, I was humbled by gravity, fear, and friendship. Things are different now, of course, but all in all, I am well," and by 2017 he sued the resort for $100,000, alleging inadequate warnings about the cliff, claims the resort denied, arguing his own negligence. Details stayed largely private. And it wasn't only Atz Lee who faced danger in winter. Otto was trampled in a snowstorm, punctured lungs, broken ribs, an injured arm, a fractured shoulder, cascading complications, and a blood clot. But he fought through surgeries and rehab to post a quiet victory, a tractor rolling under golden light, and the caption, harvest season, a single line that said everything about resilience. In the end, the Kilcher story, lawsuits, injuries, tight seasons, tighter bonds, circles back to the same truth that made Alaska the last frontier special between 2011 and 2022. Preparation, persistence, and love of place can carry you through the worst winter. And for Atz, the road from homestead kid to headline name has never been straight or simple. It's a testament to facing storms, fixing what breaks, owning hard lessons, and choosing again and again to keep going. What do you think of Atz Kilcher's journey from sports kid to soldier to singer to survivor? And how do those chapters change the way you see the headlines? Share your thoughts below. And if this deep dive pulled you back to the homestead, like, share, and subscribe. Then cue up the next story waiting on your screen.